Welcome to Fall Summit, a story-based podcast about tales, trails, and epic fails. I'm Octavia.
And I'm Em. For those of you just joining, we're going to bring you 2 stories and our thoughts on the tales, ending with Trail Mix, where I will bring you 3 songs, then Trail Etiquette and Other Shit by Tave.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How's you doing today? How's you doing?
How's yous?
How's yous doing?
I's good. It's that time of the month.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
When it gets warmer? Because
Yes.
we're almost in spring?
Exactly.
Cool.
So weather has been giving us little teases of spring.
Yeah.
And then taking it away.
It's not nice.
And your Mother Nature is just the biggest tease in the entire world. And it's kind of rude.
I know.
At this point.
She's ever evolving.
Ever evolving.
Yeah.
But today's pretty nice, and there's no snow on the ground at the moment, so weather segment complete.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to get any more snow.
You know?
Maybe.
I don't think so.
Sometimes you have a late, springtime snow. But it's 15 degrees out this morning, so.
Is it?
It
feels
was.
warmer.
It was this morning. Anyway, I'm good too. Thanks for asking.
How's yous?
How's yous? Good. I just got a invitation in the mail from my cousin inviting us to go to Dublin for her wedding.
No, you have to tell it better.
Why?
It wasn't. They didn't invite us to Dublin. They invited us to a
wedding.
Yes, but at a mystery location.
Oh, yeah, no. So the invitation came in the mail. Yes, that is correct. Thank you for reminding me. The invitation came in the mail and it said, you're invited to this wedding. But it had no other information on it, not where it was, not what time it was, not I don't even remember if it had a date. So I'm like, okay, well, where is it? What's happening?
So you did your sleuthing. You did your investigation.
I had to manually type in the address for their wedding.
That's wild.
Website. I know. They couldn't even put a QR code on it.
Oh my god.
I'm so lazy. I can't handle it.
Oh my gosh. I think that was part of it. That was probably part of it. They were probably like, let's make this as mysterious as humanly possible.
I think they were like, if they want to go, they're gonna find out where it is. Right. So.
And we found out
that
it's in Dublin.
Which
is in Ireland.
It is in Ireland.
For those who don't know.
I'm pretty sure you should know basic
Tave.
What?
Gulf of America.
Well, that's not a thing.
Yes, but I'm just saying people are stupid.
That's true.
Anyway.
That's true. Yeah, you can't just go up and change the names of things willy-nilly. That's been that way forever. I don't think it's appropriate.
Apparently you can.
But I still don't.
I don't think you should.
Yeah, but I'm not going to call Twitter X. I'm not going to call the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America.
Oh my god, it sounds so stupid.
It really does.
It does not have a ring to it.
No.
Anything with the name America in it, at this point, I'm sorry.
Well, I understand where you're coming from with that. I do think that there has been some negative connotations on the symbols and the words, but I think that comes from people using it in a negative connotation. I don't think that the words or the symbols are inherently a negative thing. But it is in our heads that, well,
America.
This brings me to a really great subject that I wanted you to share with everybody is you had a situation at work recently with a customer that you judged.
I prejudged
them based on, why don't you tell the story? You tell them.
Yes. So I work at a Filipino restaurant. A 4-person group came in to the restaurant, and immediately I was struck by the guy who was, bigger guy, just brawny dude.
Yeah, like a muscle man.
Like a dude's a man.
Man.
And he had a huge American flag on his shirt. And it said dogs plus freedom. Freedom was in all caps. It was just I prejudged, and I was like, all right, this is going to be somebody who's conservative. This is going to be
like a MAGA guy. possibly?
Possibly, or yeah,
Without the red hat. Like, he
sure.
left his red hat in his truck.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, I prejudge somebody by their looks.
yeah.
Great.
Which I
And
think we're all guilty of doing,
mhm.
but maybe, learning a lesson from it is good.
Right, and I did, and, so, I go up to the table, and I was a little reluctant. I was the only server at this point because my other colleague, Karina, had just clocked out, but was still there, but not taking tables. So I was the only person to go over, and he did give me an interesting look when I approached the table, and
Okay.
in my head, I was like, "Oh, he's prejudging me."
Right.
So I was like, my assumption was correct in my head, you know?
Yeah.
So then, I take the order, and his wife ends up being Filipina. So they're both familiar with a lot of the dishes. I guess he does a lot of the cooking for the family.
Oh,
So he's familiar with a lot of Filipino ingredients, and was asking like a lot of questions about the stuff. And actually had a really decent sense of humor. Yes, some of it was a little out there. He was a little out there.
okay.
It's fine.
That's eccentric is fine.
Great. But I played it off and I was like, and I directly, like, I said to myself, I was like, I'm going to win this person over
Okay. You
in
took
my
your
head.
personal mission to
Yes. Because I was like,
ingratiate
if
yourself.
I can do that, then I can do anything. Like, this is my mission. So I was like looking at him directly. I was speaking to him directly. I was making jokes with him and then like would look at the rest of the people and like, I did my thing.
Yeah.
So, towards the end, he approaches me. I had stepped out for a smoke break really quick, and Karina had grabbed their credit card,
Right.
ran the credit card, and brought it back to them. I walked back in 5 minutes later, and he approached me with a wad of cash. And I said, "Can I get you change?" And he said, "No, this is for you. I just want you to know that you remind me so much of my buddy who was my machine gun carrier in the war. His name was Moose. We called him Moose.
Aw.
And there's nobody else in the world that I would trust with my life. But now I have a second person. You remind me so much of him and your personality, your smile. You have a great sense of humor." And he was like, "I just had a really, really fantastic time. Thank you so much."
Mhm.
So Karina was, like, almost crying and was like, "That was, like, the most karmic thing that could have happened
Yeah.
because you thought he was prejudging you. You prejudged him,
Right.
and then this happened."
Yeah.
And she was like, "How much did he leave you? He just left you a really decent tip, I can tell." So then we did the math because Karina's nosy and loves that kinda stuff. I love
That's
that for her.
great. I love that for her.
Um, and he left me a 55% tip.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I think that maybe the look that he gave you when you first walked up to the table then, you misread as
Judgment.
judgment, but he was just like,
It was a
maybe.
recognition thing, I think, for
Yeah,
him. He
I
was like
think so.
like, "What?"
I wonder if it's because his friend Moose is since passed that he had that reaction. Did it seem like?
Um, yeah, either that or they lost touch. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Ugh,
Um,
still, how old was this guy? Could you tell? Was he like,
I would say probably late 40s, early 50s.
okay. Trying to think of what war it would have been. So it would have been the
Yeah, he was in Iraq, but
Iraq
he
War?
he did, 22 years of service.
Oh, wow.
I met his wife in the Philippines when he was
Oh,
doing
wow.
service, and they've been married for 30 years.
Wow, you
Um,
got their whole story.
yeah, and,
That's normal for you. Everybody always
yeah,
tells you
I
their
know.
whole story.
It's very annoying. But nice also.
Yeah.
But he did say end up saying some, like, borderline, if not definite racist things about some of the countries that he was in,
Oh, jeez.
and called them yeah. But, people are mixed bags. That's what
Yeah.
I was talking with Corey and Karina after, and I was like, that really surprised me. That moment really surprised me. And he did say some things, but, like, we're all a little complicated, so, you
That's
know.
true, and I think that
And he experienced something that
yes,
was
that ties in with, our American symbols and, it's a little complicated right now,
yeah,
because
very.
of the climate of the country and what we dealt with 4 years ago, and then what we're dealing with now, which is heavy and insane. And we don't need to get into that because this is supposed to be a funny podcast.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm glad you shared that story.
But and another thing really quick. And then Corey was like, but at least that was kind of gender affirming.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
In a way.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate you sharing that. And I hope that, somebody might get something out of your experience, out of your story.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Should we dive in?
I think we should. I'm excited. We have a couple of good ones today.
Good ones.
Also this week we are getting out of the forest and into the water.
Whoop.
So both of our stories are water themed, not necessarily hiking, but they're adventures, man. So this should be wild ride.
A wild floaty ride.
Yeah. So what's our first story, Em?
Whitewater Floaty.
Whitewater Floaty.
Is this like about somebody pooping in the water?
No.
Oh, okay. Just checking. Because
No.
you know how you call them floaters?
Right. No, this is about whitewater rafting.
Oh, heard.
Yeah, heard.
Well, yeah. Okay, I'm going to get into it.
Okay.
Looking back, there were at least a dozen moments when we should have turned back. Maybe 24. But adventure is a funny way of dulling common sense, and on that crisp February day in Western New York, my friend and I were too blinded by the thrill of whitewater rafting to let something as trivial as preparedness get in the way. It was an unusually warm day for winter. 60 degrees, blue skies, a perfect day to do something incredibly dumb. Our vessel of choice? The Intex Seahawk, an inflatable raft never designed for anything more treacherous than a lazy lake float, let alone a whitewater run down a creek through the Zor Valley Gorge, a place with some of the most intense rapids in the region.
So now do you understand the name of the story?
Yes, I do.
So it's not
but they could
floaty, it's a floaty.
I know, but like it could be dual.
Yeah.
Like it could still happen for me. This could still happen.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm gonna spoiler. They're not gonna poop.
Don't spoil. No spoilers. Tave.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
They might poop, but
Thank
they
you.
aren't.
Tave. You're so gross. Why are you talking about that? All right. As we unloaded let's find out if they poop.
Let's find out.
All right. Oh my God, we're children. As we unloaded our gear at the launch site, we immediately realized we had forgotten something crucial. The screw-on plugs for the raft. You know, the things that keep the air inside. A setback, sure, but not a deal breaker. Not when you have the universal fix-it-all solution at your disposal. Duct tape.
But duct tape is so good for most things. No.
Oh my God. Okay. So we did what any self-respecting, overconfident idiots would do. We slapped duct tape over the valves, smoothing it down like that would somehow be enough to hold back the laws of physics. Satisfied with our handiwork, we set off. At first, things were okay. The raft held air, mostly. Sure, we could feel it slowly deflating beneath us, but that was a problem for later. The creek was swollen from recent snowmelt, running fast and cold, but the first few miles were smooth. We bumped over some minor rapids, the Seahawk taking the abuse better than expected. When the air loss became too obvious to ignore, we paddled to shore and reapplied more duct tape, a process we repeated twice as we worked our way deeper into the gorge. Then, at the final bend, before the biggest rapids on the creek, the sky turned on us. It happened fast. Too fast. 1 minute, we were floating under a clear sky, the unseasonable warmth making us cocky. The next, thick black storm clouds rolled in like something out of a horror movie. The temperature plummeted from 60 degrees to somewhere in the 40s almost instantly. Then came the rain, then the downpour. We could see the river rising around us in real time, the calm current morphing into something alive, faster, angrier, completely indifferent to our survival. We had no choice but to keep going. The gorge was steep, and there was no way out until the town of Gowanda, which was still miles downstream. Then came the moment we should have died. Dun, dun,
dun, dun, dun.
Dun. What would be going through your mind in this moment, Tave?
Fuck.
That's it. That's all you got.
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, I don't think I'd be that stupid to think that tape would survive in water. But yeah, I would probably paddle to shore and then have to either call for help or hike out because that's just I'd probably get lost in the woods in that point, but I don't think I would continue down the river. I would follow the river down to where, it would normally let out
Yeah.
or call for help.
I'd also be concerned about, like, thunder and lightning.
Yeah, and you're on the water.
Yeah.
Leave the Seahawk, let it float down. Hopefully somebody at the bottom finds it and then sends help up, assuming that you're somewhere lost. No?
I don't know if that's how that works.
Why not? Hey, if you
You
if
can't how would they get upstream?
hike?
What if it's not, like
I don't know. Have you ever been whitewater rafting?
yeah,
You know how they usually have it's like set they have like a station where it dumps out
yeah.
and then there's like a place where you put the boats in and then there's a place where it dumps out.
Yeah, there's usually spots where you can, like, pull off along the way,
Yeah.
but not, like, a path all the way down the gorge
No,
usually.
probably not. That's why I said hiking they would have to do some hiking. And if uh, if you're at the bottom waiting
Mhm.
for like your team, I don't even know if like the guided tours are operating in the winter though. But say they are.
Uh-huh.
Say they're it's in full operation. If there is a couple different outfits on the river that day and they're at the bottom waiting for their people to come down, and all of a sudden they see an empty raft coming down, they're going to call search and rescue.
Yeah.
And search and rescue is gonna have the helicopter, the multiple SARS teams, like, everyone looking for whoever used to be in that boat.
Yeah, it'll be like in Monsters, Inc. when, the sock is contaminated by a child and gets into the building,
Yeah.
and then the, team comes down and breaks through the windows and, propels down and puts everyone and starts shaving their back.
Oh my god, I
That's what
love
would
how your
happen.
brain works, how you made that connection is hysterical.
They would start propelling down the gorge is what I'm
Yeah, well,
saying.
let's find
Anyway,
out what these guys did.
yes,
Probably not what we suggest.
probably not, knowing them
Yeah,
so far.
yeah.
The raft, now more deflated than afloat, became sluggish in the rising water. As we approached one of the largest rapids, we hit a rock. At first, we cursed our luck until we looked ahead and realized it had just saved our lives. Had we gone another 50 feet, we would have been sucked into a set of rapids that the Seahawk, our poor, beaten, sinking vessel, stood absolutely zero chance of surviving. It would have crumpled like paper, tossing us into a churning mess of boulders and debris. We needed to get out. Now. We jumped into the river, grabbing the boat to guide it toward the shore, but the current was monstrously strong. With each foot, we fought forward. The river dragged us 5 feet downstream. The cold was unbearable, hypothermia creeping in immediately, but we had bigger problems. That's when I saw it. Oh my god. A massive pine tree, half submerged, directly in our path. If the current dragged us into that thing, it would either impale us or suck us under the branches, a death trap of limbs and swirling debris. There was no way around it. We had seconds to react. We pushed everything we had toward shore, arms, legs, pure terror. When we were about 10 feet from the tree, we finally broke free from the current and collapsed onto the muddy bank. Soaked, shivering, and running on adrenaline fumes, we sat there for a moment, just processing the fact that we were still alive. Then reality set in. We were deep in the gorge, exhausted, with the temperature still dropping fast. Our legs felt like lead, nearly locking up from the cold. But there was no choice. We had to hike out. It was brutal, but we eventually made it back to a road where we did the only logical thing left to do. We hitchhiked back to the car, dripping wet, barely able to speak through chattering teeth. I think about that day a lot, about the stupid number of chances we had to turn back, about the sheer luck that saved us, and mostly about the fact that at any point we could have made one better decision that would have spared us the near-death experience. Starting with, not going at all.
I think that they should have probably when they realized they didn't have the plugs, they probably should have not gone at all.
Well, yeah, even that, but also the fact that they didn't have a suitable
Oh, vessel,
vessel
yeah.
in the first place.
Yeah, I agree.
Why are you what are you doing?
Also in the winter, I mean, I understand, like, it was a beautiful day and you felt like,
Sure.
this is probably, the first nice day of the year
Amazing.
since the winter.
You're not a bird. You're not something coming out of hibernation.
Yeah.
You're okay.
You're fine.
You can wait another month or 2.
Go for a walk.
Go for a walk. Go for a hike.
Yeah. Stay on land.
Stay on land.
Also, like, okay,
Well, I'm just repeating everything.
I know, you're
yeah.
just repeating everything.
Sorry.
I think that 60 degrees weather outside, midwinter, that's really nice. I love that. You know, it does feel really good. Now, if it was the fall and it was 60 degrees, you'd be like, oh, it's chilly today.
Right.
You know what I mean? I feel like, you know, once your body acclimates to whatever weather it's in, you know, the temperature feels differently.
Mm-hmm.
So thinking that it would be a good idea on a day that's 60 right after the winter, I understand like mentally how they got to that point because it does feel warmer. But you have to take into account that the water is going to be still winter water in the
Right.
mountains. It's, you know, with the snow runoff, that water was probably like 20
Frigid.
degrees.
Yeah.
Still, even if it was 60 out, the water is still too cold for that bullshit.
Yeah, and the water level is still really pretty high, probably,
Yeah.
with all the snow melt and all the ice melt.
How did the storm creep in? Like, didn't they look at the weather before they left? Probably not.
Probably not, but also, like, things like that I've heard of things like that happening
Like freak
fast.
storms?
Yeah, freak storms.
I
So,
mean,
perhaps,
okay.
but yes, it's more likely they did not check
Yeah.
based on the other.
Yeah, and also in the mountains, weather can be different. That's true. From weather to weather.
Well, it was a good story.
It was a good story. I think that
Glad they survived.
they were forced into taking our suggestion of getting out of the water.
Right.
I don't think
They
they
had
would.
no other option.
I don't think they would have if they hadn't hit that rock and seen the rapids
Rapid?
rapids down the stream, the rapids.
No, probably not. I don't think they would have either.
No,
But
but
they did. They survived.
they survived. Good on you. Learned your lesson, right?
Yes.
You think they learned their lesson?
For this particular scenario, sure.
Okay.
But I think next time they're going to forge their own raft made out of a hula hoop
Oh yeah.
and tires.
Oh, and like bamboo shoots or whatever. You know, like
Oh yeah.
you know. Have you ever seen Naked and Afraid?
Yes.
So
you have
I make you watch it. It's
made
a
me
really
watch.
good show.
It's not bad.
I
It's
like
just
it. It's entertaining.
it's so stupid that they're naked.
Oh my god, I love that they're naked. They have
I
to
know
make their
you
own-
love that they're naked. You
Yeah.
like butts.
all the butt.
All the butt.
All the butt. But I like that show, and in one of the episodes, I think it was one of the XL
Oh my god.
shows. They had to make boats to get down a rapids. The rapids weren't huge. I think they were like, I don't know where they were. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But they made the boats. One of the teams made them out of bamboo reeds, and the other one I think made like a raft.
Mm-hmm.
But the raft broke apart really quickly. The bamboo reed canoe, they made like a canoe out of bamboo. It actually stayed pretty good. Raft broke apart in like the first or second rapids.
Wow.
It was really bad. Yeah.
That's
So I think that
that's fun.
I think their next boat is probably going to be the raft, not the bamboo canoe.
Yeah, I think that's beyond them for now.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready for story number 2?
Indeed.
All right. Drifting into the unknown. The ocean was supposed to be our playground for that day, a final dive to cap off an unforgettable trip. The kind of adventure you tell stories about, where the thrills linger long after you return to dry land. But adventure has a way of shifting you when you least expect it, turning into something else entirely, something that doesn't wait for you to be ready. We had been diving off the remote waters of an island. The dive had been perfect, visibility so clear it felt endless, the reef alive with color and movement. We glided, effortlessly, weightless, lost in the quiet beauty of the deep. Then, after our safety stop, we surfaced. No boat? At first, it was just confusion. We scanned the horizon, expecting to see the familiar silhouette of our captain's vessel waiting. Instead, there was only the vast stretch of an open ocean, the rolling waves, the endless sun. The wind had picked up, the current was stronger now. The realization came fast and sharp. Our captain had lost track of us. We were alone. There were 3 of us. The other 2 divers had young children waiting for them back home. That thought alone set my adrenaline surging. This wasn't just about us. It was about the kids who might never see their fathers again if we didn't make it to shore. We did what instinct and training dictated, ditched our weights and any gear that wasn't essential. The island was there, somewhere, its southern tip our only chance. But we were at the mercy of the currents, and the ocean doesn't care if you make it or not. We locked arms, forming a rotating system. One diver in the middle could rest while the other 2 kicked like hell against the full of the sea. Then we'd switch. Over and over, no choice but to move to fight. I had a tiny reserve of air left in my tank, just enough for a desperate breath when I needed it. Not enough to descend and escape the surface battle, though. The waves dictated our pace, tossing us, forcing us to work with them instead of against them. What we didn't know, what we wouldn't know until later, was that the night before, the moon phase had altered the currents. If not for that small shift, we would have been pulled away from the island entirely, dragged out into open water, with the Philippines as our next possible landfall thousands of miles away. Planes were already searching for us when we finally reached the reef. They must have spotted the boat, must have known something was wrong. But by then, we were in the thick of the shallows, facing a new kind of danger. The reef was alive with threats: eels, urchins, venomous lionfish, and sea snakes that slithered unseen beneath the surface. My dive partners managed to scramble over the rocks, but I was beyond exhausted. Instead of walking, I crawled, dragging myself forward, pushing past the pain. My wetsuit and gloves barely enough protection against the sharp coral. The moment we reached land, it was like reality hit all at once. I was cramping, dehydrated, and bleeding. That's when I remembered something else. The shark. It had been there below us, circling. At some point, we had stopped looking down, stopped acknowledging it, because what was the point? If it attacked, it attacked. The stress wouldn't change anything. But as I sat on the sand, lungs burning, heart still pounding from hours of survival mode, I realized something chilling. I had been bleeding in the water. Maybe the shark had been curious. Maybe the shark had been curious. Maybe we were lucky. Maybe we weren't meant to die that day. When we finally reached the Jeep, the wife of our local dive partner was there waiting. She had been the one to call for help, the one who had radioed the airport, desperate for someone to find us. The moment she saw me, she broke down, sobbing, clinging to me like she had almost lost someone she loved. And in that moment, I understood. Out there, in the relentless pull of the sea, life and death weren't separate. There were currents running parallel, waiting for one small shift to decide your fate. We had made it, but just barely.
Yikes.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't ask you any questions. I usually like to pepper in some curiosity into the story, but that story is too wild.
Yeah, I
I had
kinda
to
just
tell
wanted
it.
to, like
Yeah.
I was, like, hanging on to the edge of my seat. I was like, "Ooh, is the shark gonna bite?
Like,
Ooh, are they going to die? Like,
had
ooh."
bury the lead, right?
Well, I mean, I already know they're not dead because, like, the story is there, but,
One of
like
the friends could have died.
that's true.
Yeah. We only need one to survive to tell the story. That should be our new tagline. You only need one to survive to tell the story.
Oh, yeah.
So what did you think of that story?
Yeah, I would say that I would be terrified. Sharks, swimming in open water freaks me out to begin with.
Yeah.
So I don't like it. I don't like not knowing what's underneath me.
Yeah.
Um,
Or knowing and seeing it's a shark.
or seeing it's a shark and not knowing if that's the only one.
Yeah.
Feeling it, like, the chance of feeling it brush against me, the chance of, like, no.
Chewing off your leg.
I used to be freaked out, about bathtubs and,
Oh,
like
I've heard of this. People are scared of sharks in pools.
mhm. Yeah, I had the same thing in pools. I couldn't go into the deep end because you can see, like,
But
uh
it's so irrational. I mean, if anything, maybe a kelpie would be in there, crawled up from the drain. Not a shark, though. Sharks can't fit in drains. Unless it's a little shark, and then you're not in trouble because the little shark will, like, chew off your toe.
yeah, but it's just a fear.
That is a very interesting fear, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. But, I like the story. I thought it was well told, and you did the story justice, and
Thank you.
I was on the edge of my seat the whole time.
I I don't know, would you ever dive?
Would I what?
Ever dive?
Ever what?
Dive?
Like, what?
Would you ever dive?
Like, in a pool?
No, would you ever go diving?
Oh,
Like these guys are done.
yeah, I guess. Probably.
What, just for the experience?
Yeah, I would. I think I did in New Zealand, actually.
But you probably weren't scuba diving.
Yeah.
Not like snorkeling.
Yeah.
You probably didn't go full on scuba diving.
Yeah.
With the tank and all
Yeah.
the stuff that it comes with.
Yeah.
Even though you
Yeah.
don't know what's underneath you.
Yeah.
I think I would do it. Would you go skydiving?
No,
No, me neither.
not at this point.
No. I would not either. I would not want that. But I just like I want to know what happened. Like how did they lose how did the boat lose them?
Well, they said something about, didn't they say something about the tide changing or something like
Well, the
that?
tide changing was in their favor. It helped propel them toward the tip of the island.
Right, but maybe that also made it so that they got lost, or
Possible.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? Just error in judgment. Who knows? Freak accident, freak weird thing.
Yeah, but they were with like a company that should have
Yeah, but they needed a sandwich break.
well,
So they stopped to get sandwiches really quick. They ran back to the island.
oh yeah.
They made themselves a fluffernutter sandwich.
Yeah. And they figured, oh, they'll still be under the weather by the time we get back.
And then like that episode we saw recently of Elsbeth, where the person leaves for a period of time while proctoring an exam and
Oh
commits
yeah.
a murder. And then comes back, and this person's still taking the tests. So they technically have an alibi because they've been proctoring the exam the entire time. So that's what happened. They just thought they wouldn't notice if they went and got their fluffernutter sandwich.
Yeah. That's definitely what
That's
happened.
definitely what happened.
Yeah,
I know
all
that for a fact.
professionals do that.
Yeah.
Do you think that they're waiting for you? They're not.
They're not.
They're eating fluffernutter sandwiches.
Yeah, some kind of sandwich. Anyway, I think we should get into trail mix.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Comic.
Trail mix.
What do you got for us today, Em?
3 songs,
Great.
which makes a mix,
Oh yeah.
and it's music.
Oh my God. I can't wait.
For the trail
Oh, only.
only,
If only.
if only. First one is called In and Out. That's what she said. Okay. First one's called In and Out by Beth Ditto. Beth Ditto's voice is a force of nature, bold, raw, and full of force. In and Out has this pulsing energy, like your heart picking up pace on a long stretch of trail. It's got this push and pull rhythm, perfect for those moments when you're climbing uphill, legs burning, but you want to keep going. It's sweaty, it's alive, it keeps you moving. Number 2 is So Young by Portugal, period, the man. But that's not how it's just Portugal, the man.
I got you.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Because it matters where the period is.
Or not.
Yeah, sure. This song feels like golden hour. When the light is soft, the air is buzzing, and everything is tinged with nostalgia. It's dreamy, but it's got an edge, like a memory that's equal parts sweet and bittersweet. It's the kind of song that makes you want to pause on the trail, take a deep breath, and soak it all in. I'm really on this ASMR kick. It's great. Or maybe
What, is that some type of bondage?
What the fuck? That's a BDSM.
Oh, right.
Dave. And you know that. You're just doing it for the bit. Wow. Kinky.
Wait, what's ASMR?
The one where they do the tippy tappies, where they like tap the microphone, or they go.
Yeah. And I did know that it was BDSM.
Yeah, because you practice it.
If I practice it, then so do you.
You practice it on all your other partners.
Oh, right.
So, dominatrix Tave at the
Yeah.
ready, at your service.
I gotta get my whips and chains.
Okay, on that note.
Okay, so inward.
Take a deep breath and soak it all in. Or maybe dance a little, because why not? Next on the list, third and final song is DNA by Empire of the Sun. If there were ever a song that could turn a trail into a cinematic moment, it's DNA. Empire of the Sun knows how to make everything feel big. Big sky, big emotions, big adventure. The beat keeps your feet moving, and the swirling synths make it feel like you're stepping into something epic. Play this one when you need a boost, when the journey is long, but the view is worth it. That is it for Trail Mix today.
Thanks, Em. I loved your trail mix.
Thank you.
Are you ready for trail etiquette and other shit?
I definitely am.
Okay. Today we're going to talk about whitewater rafting tips for beginners. I thought it was very good and in line with our first story.
It definitely is.
No.
And now I want to know, do you bring the duct tape or do you not bring the duct
I
tape?
always bring the duct tape just in case.
Yeah, duh.
Duh.
Okay.
But if you have a raft that isn't supposed to be for a whitewater situation and you don't have the valves, probably go home. Put on the Netflix show.
And watch it. Happen
Yeah.
on Netflix.
Yeah. Watch somebody else being an idiot. Yeah. Go watch
Jackass.
Naked and Afraid. Or Jackass.
Yeah.
Either one.
Sure.
All
Both
right.
the same.
Planning your first trip.
Mm-hmm.
Follow these essential tips from experts to ensure a smooth and safe adventure. Dress for the water. Expect to get soaked. Wear a quick drying synthetic clothing and enclosed shoes with laces. I don't see why you can't wear Velcro or slip-ons. Though, why does it have to be laces? Just in case you have a MacGyver moment, you need the laces to hide something down.
I don't know.
Okay.
Or maybe so it's just stays on better, so it doesn't
Maybe
slip off.
All right. Well, avoid cotton, which stays wet and cold. Wetsuits may be an option in colder conditions. I don't think those guys were wearing wetsuits.
Highly improbable.
Very, very improbable. Always wear your helmet. Hidden obstacles like rocks and branches can be dangerous. Keep your helmet on at all times to minimize injury risk. Leave valuables behind. Anything you don't want to lose or get wet, like jewelry, should stay at home.
So I have to leave my Rolex at home?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. And your nipple rings. And your clit ring.
Shit. I can't always take that one out, though, So.
You'll never get it back in.
Okay, moving on. Thanks for exposing that on live air.
You're welcome. Be a confident swimmer. You don't need to be an Olympian, but you should be comfortable in the water. Your life jacket will keep you afloat, but you may need to swim toward the raft or shore. Keep your life jacket secure. Wear it snugly, even in calm waters. It helps keep you afloat and makes rescue easier if you fall out. Know what to do if you fall in. Grab the raft safety line. If separated, assume the whitewater swim position on your back with your feet downstream until guides reach you. Help others if they fall in. If a teammate is overboard, pull them in by their life jacket straps. Pass them a paddle or toss a throw bag. Master the T-grip. Always hold the T-shaped end of your paddle to prevent accidental injury to yourself or others. That's if you bring your paddle up and the end of it smacks into somebody else's face and breaks their nose.
Or if you bring it up really fast and you hit a side of the gorge that you're traveling down and the paddle breaks.
Oh, or you cause a landslide and get covered in stone.
Or you hit a bird or a dragonfly that's flying by and squish it, and then it goes into somebody else's face.
That could be, yeah.
Yeah.
All possibilities.
Great. All good ones.
Yeah.
I thought the last one was the most probable.
Yeah. Also, paddle with purpose, right? Paddling isn't just for fun. It's crucial for navigating rapids. When your guide says, paddle, do it. Listen to your guide. Guides have the experience to keep you safe. Follow their commands to ensure smooth navigation and teamwork. These guys in our first story were their own guide, and that is why they got in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the problem. It's them.
It's them. It's not you. It's
Hi.
me.
Me.
It's not me. It's
I'm
you.
the problem. It's me.
Yeah, that's their theme song.
Yeah.
Rafting is a group effort. Stay engaged, paddle hard, and enjoy the adventure. Yay!
Yay! Good job.
That's
Nice
all I got
tips.
for you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any final thoughts on the stories that we had today, too?
The first one was scary, but also it was very funny. I really enjoyed their adventure that they had with the wrong boat in like the wrong season. Like
Yeah,
everything was wrong. That it was slightly comical. And only because they didn't get, impaled by a pine tree.
right.
The second story was just scary. It was just terrifying. I mean, how you can get into trouble with on a coral reef, just that alone, just the coral reef is scary. Let alone having to do that like arm hook thing, which I'm glad that they knew how to do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have.
I wouldn't have no I would have been just like, everybody swim. But, knowing that that's what you have to do, I mean, I'm gonna keep that tip right in my back pocket if I ever get lost at sea.
Me also.
Yeah.
I think that would happen to me, actually,
It's
if
too
I were to go on sea.
I know, it's too bad there wasn't any floating
On
doors
sea.
around.
Yeah.
I know. They could have just
Why would there
crawled
be
up
a floating
on
door?
well, like in Titanic.
I've never seen Titanic.
But you know the scene I'm talking about. It's a classic scene
I
where
didn't know it
she's
was a
like
door.
yeah, she was like on I think it was a door. It was like a really big door. But in my brain, I haven't seen it in a while. In my brain, it's always been a door, but she's like on this big door, piece of wood, whatever. And she's like, "Oh, don't," and then like she like pulls his dead hand off of her hand and goes,
He's already dead at
yeah,
that point?
yeah. Well, what happens is only one person can go on this door, otherwise the door is gonna sink under the water, and the water is so cold that hypothermia is, like, a real thing.
So he saves her by
Yeah,
kamikazing.
yeah,
No, that's
basically.
not the right
Well,
term.
yeah, he saves her by sacrificing himself.
That's what I meant.
So, basically, she's on the door, and he's holding her hand, and, they're both shivering, and then he, like, closes his eyes, and then she has to, like, pry his frozen hand off of her hand, and then he sinks into the water, and they have, like, a shot of the body kinda, like, floating down with, like, lights and, like why would there be any light? You wouldn't be able to see, it would be black.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay. But yes, that is a iconic scene, and also there's also the iconic scene where they're on the bow of the boat.
Yeah, but that one's corny.
Yeah, but it's iconic.
It is iconic, but it's corny
It's
iconic.
w The whole movie is corny,
No, it's
iconic.
not. No, it's
It's
not.
so I don't know.
It's
That's just not
not.
my vibe.
Celine Dion. Hello.
I do not like that song
Well,
either.
because it's been outplayed.
But it's also just, like, a sappy song.
But it
Who likes a sappy song?
are you kidding me?
I don't like sappy songs.
Yes, you do.
Name one sappy song I like. Go. I have the
That's
timer
not
on.
fair.
The timer's running.
This is an unfair challenge. You know I can't remember the names of
Sing
things.
something, hum something.
But the only song I can think of right now is the Celine Dion song.
So hum it.
There's been plenty of songs that you
Mm,
How did we get on this
I don't know.
topic? Oh, we were talking about coral reefs.
Oh my gosh, ever since my voice dropped though, like, from puberty, that's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about, not
ADD
testosterone.
is kicking in now.
No, but ever since I first took the testosterone the first time, and my voice dropped, I cannot sing, like, I can sing a lot lower now,
Yeah.
but I can't sing happy birthday. It's
Why?
really bad because it shifts octaves,
But
and
have
it's
you
really
ever been
bad.
able to sing happy birthday?
Not well, I'm not a great singer, but now that, like, we're singing at tables at Harana,
Uh,
I'm like, "Oh,
oh,
it's"
you should just like mouth it and make everybody else do the work.
yeah, but it's usually only 2 people that go over to the table, so it's pretty obvious when
Yeah. Can we stop that tradition? That is a really embarrassing and stupid tradition. I don't think we should do it anymore. Singing happy birthday at restaurants.
no,
It's awkward. Do you like it when people sing happy birthday to you?
I don't love it, but it's a time-old tradition, so I don't think it's going anywhere.
Well, I mean, I they didn't sing happy birthday to you when we went out. Where did we go?
No, they didn't,
No.
thank God. Not every place does it, but the places that do, that's the thing.
Yeah, no.
Great.
I think it's stupid.
So I think that's it from us crazy folks here at Fall Summit. Don't you agree?
I do.
I think that we've heard enough of our yapping and yammering and singing and
I think
mouthing, and no,
never a thing.
they have.
No, ever.
It's done.
No, they love it.
They've had enough.
Never.
The people have said it's enough.
It's never
I
enough.
just heard from across the yonder. It's enough.
The yonder breaks.
Stop talking. You are annoying. Tave. You're fine. Keep going.
You're funny.
I thought so.
Yeah.
So anyway, my mom thinks so. Actually, no, my mom literally does not think I'm funny at all.
No, she thinks you're annoying.
Yeah. It's really funny, actually. That's the funny part. So anyway.
Yeah, anyway.
As always, there are links in our show notes for what we chatted about today on the air, on the show, on the podcast.
Oh, yes.
All the things. Check out our Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have exclusive content on there that you won't be able to get anywhere else. Bonus episodes, extended trail mix, lots of music, lots of stories, lots of hot goss, lots of R-rated content, X-rated content,
no
NC-17. Check it out. But if you're 13 and under, you will need to sign a permission slip.
Oh my God. No, you're crazy.
That was all just a lie. Check out our merch store because we have t-shirts, we have sweatshirts, we have pants, we have shoes, we have mugs, we have notebooks, we have travel mugs. No, we just said mugs.
Yeah.
We have stickers. We have, what else we got? I think that might be, there's other things there. Check it out.
Yeah.
Check out what you got.
Yeah.
Check out what we got.
Check out.
And then check it out.
Yeah.
From the checkout cart.
And get the merch.
It'll be shipped to you and it will be merch.
And it's pretty good quality. The new sweater, the Don't Fall Off the Cliff sweater, I've been wearing since, I don't know, a couple months now.
Yeah, and she hasn't washed it yet. So
I have to wash it. I've washed it several times and it's still soft and cozy.
You've literally been wearing it every single day for 4 months now. And not taking it off. It
basically stands on its own now.
Yeah.
I can pull it off and then put it on the table and it just stays in the shape of a sweater.
That's nice. But no, in all reality, Tave is hygienic.
Thank you for pointing that out.
I would know.
I think.
Anyway, that we digress.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please rate, review, and subscribe. And if you didn't enjoy it, well, maybe that's your epic fail for the week. Hee.
Haha. Ho ho. TT. Haha. Ta-ta. But if you've got any questions, in all sincerity, I know we do a lot of joking here. I know I sound sarcastic 99% of the time. Sincerity, what?
You're sincere. You're just sarcastic.
And
facetious.
What's that mean?
What does facetious mean?
Yeah.
It's like a darker sarcasm, more biting. It's like sarcasm with an edge. I like being facetious, and it's also a cool word.
Yeah, I think I piss people off though with it, but that's fine.
They can't get a joke.
Yeah,
let's not.
Get over it.
Bye.
But if you've got any questions, in all sincerity, let me try changing the tone of my voice. Let's try this.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, if you've got any questions, stories or trail fails, no, it still sounds sarcastic. What the hell?
Doesn't sound sarcastic.
All right, take 8. If you've got any questions, stories, or trail fails of your own, hit us up. Email us at fallsummit.pod@gmail.com or fallsummit on Instagram, and check out our YouTube because we do have a YouTube. So you can listen to our episodes there if you so desire to.
Yeah, if you'd rather listen to it there or wherever you're listening to it now, you can switch it.
We don't really care. Just listen.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week with more tales of misadventures and questionable decisions. Until then, happy trails.
And remember, if it feels like you've reached the top, you probably haven't.
See you out there.
The fuck?